This episode of Shootin' the Strings is proudly brought to you by the Guitar Colonel. For the best vintage and used guitars in Australia, visit www.guitarcolonel.com. Now it's time for your favorite megastars, Sir Nigel and the Colonel.
Sir Nigel,
That's a big bang start to episode 137 of Shooting the Strings.
I know, it's coming up. We're live. Facebook is doing funny stuff at the moment. We haven't used it in a while because we've been away.
Well, you're probably one of Australia's major news sources, and you've been taken off the air until you strike a commercial agreement with your colleagues at Zuckerberg Land. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome. Hello, folks. It's been a while. We had to disappear for another COVID.
It's been the story of the last year, hasn't it? I was just calculating. Friday, February the 13th, aka next Friday, is exactly 12 months since outside my home in Middle Park, an angry crowd of car-loving bogans delivered the news very late and very poorly communicated that there was going to be no Australian Grand Prix in South Melbourne.
There you go.
And they could go and just wander the city angry, getting drunk. So here we are a year later.
They're still wandering. Alan is still out there somewhere, wandering and drunk. You know, I had an American guy come in the day before that got shut down. He'd flown in. He follows the race around the world. He's retired, and he came into the shop. He likes guitars, and he was saying, "There's no way there's going to be." I won't do an American accent, but there's no way that's going to happen. It's not going to be shut down. It's a load of rubbish. And anyway,
it's a pandemic.
Yes, and so he was probably on a plane the same time the next day out of here. But how have you been, Sir Nigel? Anyway,
well, it's been good. It's been good, you know, up and down in terms of the in and out and not being allowed out of your house. 5K things. We haven't seen each other for ages, but
I know.
One thing remains the same, which is the turnover of fine musical instruments in the Guitar Colonel store.
Yes, sir.
Has not ceased in recent times.
No, it's been a plethora, depends where you're from, of gear.
It's been wild. I have been jonesing all week to come in and play that 335 you had. And
reminds me of a Frank Zappa song, Shake Your Booty.
335, they're so rare now. In the store on Tuesday, onto Instagram on Wednesday, sold on Thursday.
Sold, yes. Well, he hasn't paid for it yet. Well, he's coming in. Hello.
If you've got a 335 you don't love, you know, as a real estate coach friend of mine, Tom Panel, says, your house is not your wife. You know, you don't like it, you sell it. If you're not in love with your 335, now's the time to sell it, everyone.
Well, we have the new secret shipping situation that we do here. So, for instance, say you live with your wife and you're very happy.
Oh, yeah.
And
ship to another address.
Ship to another address. Sometimes, you know, Captain Stubing at the boat harbour or whatever. And we do that sort of stuff. I've been caught out once or twice. But now, speaking of hollow body type guitars.
I know. So I have found a superb substitute. And it has my very favourite P90 pickups in it.
It does. It's a beautiful guitar.
This is a ripper, and it's not a Gibson.
No.
What on earth is it?
That's a Heritage 530. It's a standard. I think they do a flamier version.
That is. Look at these pickups.
Lovely.
Expect plenty of noise this morning.
Deliciousness in a guitar.
Gee, it's nice. It's sort of a. It feels very light, of course, because hollow body, thin-bodied. Beautiful fret.
Yeah, fully hollow that one.
Wow.
So much like a 330 or a Casino sort of thing.
Casino, yeah, that's a guitar of the day, isn't it, for this episode?
And Heritage are a bunch of guys who used to work for Gibson. Everyone knows Gibson. When they were at Kalamazoo.
Oh, wow.
I think that was the factory. And then Gibson shut that factory and took off, and a bunch of guys who worked there went around the corner and they set up their own label called Heritage.
Well, they know what they're doing. They've chosen good parts, so that's not a cheap tailpiece. That's a proper one.
No.
But you've gone in genuine Gibson.
Yeah, I've gone genuine Gibson. I keep getting people saying, you should play something. So hang on, I'll see.
Yeah, what is this one?
Something.
What songs has this one got built into it?
Go the album.
Wowza.
Sorry, Panda, did I wake you up with that rock?
And what's the vintage of
This
what
is
we're playing here?
Well, this is a 2019 60th anniversary.
Right.
2019 60th anniversary. 59 Les Paul recreation.
Wow.
This is already sold, so it came in. Yeah, it came in.
What's it on the show for?
I know. Well, I barely even had a chance to play it. And Alan, Alan came. He's been coming in all week because he's kind of between jobs again.
He is. He's starting an exciting new career.
Yes, and he's like, whatever you bloody do, don't sell that before we do a show. He sounds like the Beatles.
Yeah,
don't sell that
from
before
Liverpool.
we do a show. Or
Right. Are you doing
Space
a show?
Invader.
You've got a show,
Star Wars.
Got a show with him this afternoon?
No, I don't, because he's got a boozy lunch. And even though the show is 3 or 4 in the afternoon, by 3 or 4 in the afternoon, he'd probably be trying to get out of the lockup or something.
He's just full of acadacolics. So it's not the shiniest top I ever saw on one. What's going on there? Is a semi-gloss, matte finish?
Well, look, honestly, I think that the flame on this is, the look of this is probably more representative of what a real one would look like. That's been out and about, because they fade.
Where the sunbursters fade, that fools me every time when I'm searching through the guitar porn on the internet, and they have all the 59 sunburst, and I'm going, where's the sun? There's no red on your sunburst. Yeah, it's gone
super
yellow.
Super lightweight as well. And they've really done a good job. I have to give 2 thumbs up to Gibson.
From 2019,
2019 on, incredible, And really, just as soon as they sort of started doing the collector's choice and the true historics and the 60th anniversaries, they're good quality guitars. The general off-the-shelf standard from 2019 is pretty good as well. They got it together.
One of those. Now, whilst we're here yammering away, is anyone actually watching the show, Colonel? That's probably...
Yes, I don't want to...
That's an interesting thought, and then we'll introduce today's themes.
We've just got Michael Ray on today, funnily enough. Well, I didn't actually promote that we were on, but that's okay.
That's right. Hello, Michael. It's a show that we recorded. Morning, Michael.
We've got 10 or 20 people on, it says, something like that. If you have a comment, please write a comment.
Jump in. Where are you? Who are you?
We've been away a little while.
So today, Colonel, we're back in the great rock postcodes, and I've brought us back to Australia when we really should be doing. We're going international, Australia alternating.
Yes.
We're back to Australia, what I think is Australia's most famous rock postcode, because it allows us to salute someone who we lost this week.
Now, who was it?
Bunny Wailer.
Was it?
And
who was that 100-year-old captain in England?
Yeah, Captain Tom? No,
Captain Tom?
He died a while ago, mate. Okay. But we did lose Bunny Wailer, but more importantly, we lost, as Jimmy Barnes rightly said, the heart and soul of the Australian music industry, Michael Gudinski.
There you go. That's a little bit sad.
And so we salute the postcode 3427. Get your Google out. Where is 3427?
3427.
It's a little town outside Melbourne called Diggers Rest.
Wow.
And it is well known for a pivotal moment in watermelon selling.
Wow. Tell me more, sir. What is this?
In 1972,
what is this Diggers Rest you speak
in
of?
1972, a young man called Michael Gudinski set himself up a watermelon stand at the Sunbury Pop Festival. Wow. And it was, the Pop Festival for me is an incredible thing. It's like a historic place as far as I'm concerned. You can you can look it up on the internet, you can find it. It's the 50th anniversary of Sunbury next year. And this is the moment that defined Australian rock music. We still have it today. If you're going to the pub and enjoying Australian pub rock, it's because of Sunbury.
Wow.
And Michael Gudinski's like 19 years old, same as sort of my beloved offspring. Makes a monster selling watermelons to the drunken and dehydrated crowd of 30,000 or so in this natural amphitheatre just outside Melbourne. Now they called it the Sunbury Festival because the Diggers Rest Festival wasn't a great marketing look.
No, it doesn't have the ring.
And look, it's remarkable. Look, a year later, having listened to all the bands, and he's a charmer and a doer, he's back at Sunbury again in 1973, and he started a company.
Mushroom?
Mushroom Records.
Started it back then. Wow.
And he's negotiated the rights from the guys who run the festival to create a triple album. Because this is what's remarkable about Sunbury, is it is probably one of the most recorded and videoed festivals in history.
Is that right? I have seen some video from it, that's for sure.
It's
Not for a long time.
Lovely movie. It's on YouTube. You can go and watch it, about an hour and a half. It
Wow.
just captures the time. So a year later, he's running Mushroom Records.
Yes.
He's negotiated the rights to record a triple album. Now, the music's gone off in 72. There's 2 albums out of 72. There's a double album of the concert
Yes.
with a bunch of bands, and then the Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs live record, which they rate as their greatest recording.
Wow.
So he comes back and going, I am going to match the magic of the Woodstock triple album. Mushroom's going to be a serious entity, which he probably needed to go back to selling watermelons, would have been more profitable.
As a start, yes.
So I'm curious, does anyone out there amongst our audience have that triple album?
Michael Ray. Do they allow triple albums in Barwon Prison? His brother's in Australia at the moment.
Wow.
I think he might be coming in today to see you.
Does it be good?
I'm not sure. He was in quarantine in Adelaide. But
Right. Nice.
he escaped, got out.
So that triple album went gold, and history was made. So Sunbury, 72, 73, 74, 75. And to remind you of that, Colonel, I have a small gift for you.
What?
Because in searching the internet to study this rock postcode, and if we ask the question, what's in the water at Diggers Rest, Colonel?
Oh.
Quite a lot of wee, actually.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Naked people.
Like swimming at MSAC.
And that's part of the appeal of the location. A beautiful river runs through it.
Yes.
And only one drowning in the whole time. That was pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's in the water there is probably not drinkable. So I found a Melbourne publisher.
Oh my God.
Who?
Oh, it's the poster.
It's the poster.
Oh wow.
And this Melbourne publisher, one of the original organisers of Sunbury, published all of his memories and all of his photos in a book, Peter Evans.
Wow.
It's such a treasure. If you want one, search it on the internet, because they're half price at the moment. I was getting down to the last couple of hundred. And it's a fantastic ripping yarn about how it came about. And as an organiser of events, not festivals, just like Battle of the Bands, I am in awe of what a bunch of amateurs pulled off.
And written by Pete Evans, the anti-vaxxer from Byron Bay.
The weirdo chef. No, a different... The good Pete Evans, as it was. So anyway...
Thank you, Sir Nigel. That is so lovely.
Yeah, no,
so
I was
this will be in the shop, folks. All of this stuff stays in the shop if you'd like to... Whoa, check that out.
There's no Gudinski photos in there selling mushrooms or watermelons, but he's a bit of a star in it for sure.
I got myself all ready for the Gudinski show this morning. I got up and I had 5 lines of Coke and then called up Renee Gayer and I'm ready to go.
It's party time.
That looks very modern though. Look at that.
This is the astonishing thing about you look through that could be Big Day Out.
It looks a lot like it. I can't even believe what year is this supposed to be.
72. So
Leo de Castro. It's all 72?
No, it's all the festivals all the way through, but the most of it is 72 because that was the breakthrough year.
This picture is Mark Kennedy, drummer for the group Friends, which I've never even heard of. But I mean, this looks like you could be over in Fitzroy right now.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're going to salute.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Gudinski was part of the festival. He took it and amplified it and made it a million things, and the industry's going to miss him sorely. So, but I tell you what, there's the triple album from that year, but there's another album. There's an EP which is as rare as Rocking Horse Poop. It's a 6-track EP from Sunbury. If anyone's got that, you're on a real pot of gold there.
All right.
But it's been a big week in music. It's been a huge week in music. So, 40th anniversary Split Ends.
Yes.
True Colours.
Yes.
Which is amazing because that is another part of the Gudinski rich thread that we weave through our lives. They did not go to Sunbury. They would have been booed off the stage at Sunbury. Let's face it, this crowd booed Queen off the stage.
Yes, they booed Queen. That's true. Anything a little bit, because I think Split Ends used to dress up in...
Oh my goodness. Split Ends in the mid-70s, just getting established. The most experimental, wacky, blues-based, long, psychedelic riffs. Wow. It's not until 1980, and they've kind of been and gone, and it's like it's not looking good. They moved to Australia. Who gives them their break? Michael Gudinski.
Incredible. I did not know that.
And we get True Colours, and we got this week, get to your downloads or get to your favourite album store and get True Colours, New Colours.
Oh.
Celebrating 40 years of that incredible album.
Is that the same album remastered?
Remastered in the second half, tributes in the first half.
Oh,
and they
wow.
are amazing.
Wow. I have to get it. Go and get it.
My favourite, She Hard.
Do yourself a favour.
She Hard. That
Oh, yeah, right.
I Got You.
Yeah, they've been playing that on the radio a bit.
Damn,
so
it's good. It's
pretty
possibly better than the original.
I like, it's a bit more, it's modern.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It deserved big guitars, you know. And Bernard Fanning, I Hope I Never.
I haven't heard that.
That is a work of poetry.
Bernard Fanning, a lovely
The
gentleman.
Beths,
I've only ever met him once.
The Beths, which I can't say properly. You'll have to say so the audience understand. It's not the Beths, it's the Beths.
Bethh.
Yeah.
Yep. Beths.
Auckland band. Former jazz music students turned rock and rollers because there was no money in jazz.
No.
Sorry, Neil.
Yeah.
And
3 chords to 10,000 people, or 10 chords to 3 people. No.
look at incredible covers, really fantastic. Now, I had the laser etched version of True Colours. So you put it on the turntable, you shine a torch on it, the little laser 3D etching all shine. I have no idea where that is. And equally another anniversary this
Probably
week.
Gudinski had that after his
I think so. So we owe him for
the
that one.
whiskey and the cocaine.
So
mushrooms.
49 years ago this week, who was in Melbourne?
49 years
So this is
ago.
going to be another 50th anniversary. Next year is going to be the biggest year.
49 years ago.
You're playing the right guitar. Zeppelin.
Oh, you know what? I have shout out and R.I.P. of course to Michael Gudinski, but also R.I.P. to Merv Cargill.
Oh,
From Cargill,
no way.
yes, yeah, from Cargill Custom Guitars.
We've all had our guitars repaired by Merv at some stage.
Yeah, we have. He used to come around and pick up the guitars. He was 185, so he had a pretty good innings. But he actually worked on Jimmy Page's Les Paul in 1972. And there's a bunch of famous stories about, well, Jimmy went down to see him. I'll tell you the exact story because I asked Merv about it one day. He never got to meet him, the roadies or whatever. They just shipped it to him.
Right.
While Zeppelin were going to New Zealand.
Of course, they went to New Zealand in the middle of the tour. The wackiest thing.
Yeah. And so he fixed his guitar up, set it up.
Yep.
I think he worked on one of the pickups and then shipped it out to them in New Zealand.
Back to Melbourne, or I think it's Sydney, or Auckland, Melbourne, or Melbourne, Auckland, Sydney.
I think he had to send it into Auckland or something maybe. But and he got a phone call from Jimmy Page saying it's the best setup he's ever had. He's so happy. So there you go. So that's the true
49
story.
years ago. And what's been uncovered is footage of the New Zealand Auckland gig. So new footage, and it's so fresh. And again, you're commenting about how Northside, those photos from 1972 look. You should see the people and the video of these boys playing. Like, it's colour. It's a cameraman who was super close to the stage.
Wow.
It's a little vignette of the concert. Do you know that boy could play Les Paul? He was pretty. There's no bullshit.
Yeah, no. He's the real deal. Speaking of, we have some people on now.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
Yes, and the man who is grabbing the Les Paul is Mr. Ian is on. Hello, Ian. He wants to hear the Les Paul. Sorry, I played it. Hang on. I played it. Hang on.
Have you got a little bit of Jimmy Page? Just 49,
yes.
41. So it's an auspicious week. You know, all the threads run together because reputedly the Melbourne gig was pretty good and pretty loud, as that was in my cans, Colonel.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. I'm old and deaf anyway.
Yeah.
And other than that, I've got one shout out to do for a friend of mine who I had no idea watched the show from Portland.
From Portland in the
in the USA, Diana Larson, my good friend.
Hello, Diana.
So Diana, if you're watching this episode, g'day. Portland Postcode is a rock Postcodes episode I'm looking forward to doing. Who can you name from Portland?
From Portland? I'm going to say Dandy Warhols.
Warhols.
There we go. Had the
Dandy
drummer in.
Warhols, Sleater Kinney,
Yes.
and Pink Martini. So I've got a little bit of a jazz aspiration, a bit of Pink Martini, you know.
Have you been to Portland? I've never been. It's supposed to be cool.
It rains.
It rains a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we do a,
let's take us back.
Yes.
Back to postcode 3427. It's 1972. It's the Sunbury Festival. There are people with no clothes on all around us eating Michael Gudinski's watermelon.
Yeah. That sounds like the...
That's a metaphor, isn't it?
that sounds like the mushroom office in Albert Park.
Fantastic. And who have we got? How can we weave together Michael Gudinski, 70s rock and roll,
Okay.
and all the things? What songs are you going to teach me today?
I've got 3 for you today, Nigel.
Brilliant.
You can choose whichever order you like. But here they are.
Okay.
We've got Split Ends.
Ooh.
My favourite groovin' track from Split Ends, Dirty Creature. I love that when it came out.
Yep.
I've chosen a Renee Gaia track.
Oh, and I'll tell you the Renee Gaia story later on.
love
That's
a
a
bit of
very
Renee.
wise choice.
She used to party with Michael. And also, funnily enough, her guitar player has been on the show, Mr. Aaron Shrembury.
Oh, wow.
And the Aztecs drummer, Gil Matthews, has been in the shop as well. And when I mentioned...
We could put together a Sunbury of our own.
We could do it right here in the shop. And when I mentioned that Aaron was playing with Renee, when I mentioned that to Gil, he went, ho, 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 ho.
Spicy.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. And
She does have... I mean, that's Michael's... That's the relationship it began. Like she was having a spicy time with RCA, her record company.
Right.
He brokered a deal.
Yikes.
On the basis of her band at the time, 2X Chain. Like, if you want again, go back to the footage, you want brilliant 70s rock and blues, Chain.
Bit of Phil Manning. Phil Manning's from Chain, I think.
What
right?
a band. But anyway, 2 members of Chain were in her band and they introduced her to Michael, and he, brokered the piece. And if we have Renee Gaia in the 70s, it's largely because of that.
Oh, and I've also chosen a Models track. So I think they're on Mushroom.
80s, yeah, they were
80s
absolutely.
have gone 80s. So you can, I'll have a look at who's on. We'll say a quick hello, and you choose, and we can do whichever one you like.
We're definitely starting with Split Ends.
We're going to do Split Ends.
It is the 40th anniversary of that brilliant album, and Split Ends is always number 1, folks. Just remember that for sure.
They are the best Australian band, let me tell you. They're so good. Bill Hatzastavros is on. Previous contest winner. Yes. We have Mick Bartlett. He says, "Good morning, man. How's that T-shirt coming along?" I think I've
got other people. I've got my Brisbane Mates Wax Flowers T-shirt on today because they're punk and their music.
Yes, it's not coming along at the moment. Todd Steele says, "Hi Anthony, I've got some lefties for you. Ooh. Looking to sell 3." Well, come on down. We need some lefties.
Come on down. Yep.
Mick Bartlett, Narracute. 5271, the home of rock. Michael Ray, David escapes from quarantine in Adelaide tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Not sure when I'll get out of Barwon prison. And my answer will
see
be
you next
hopefully
week.
Never.
Time off for good behaviour.
Ian Jessen, yes, we've said hello to Ian. Michael Webb is on. Hello, Michael Webb. Rob Ferguson, great sound. Oh, thanks, buddy. It's all the guitar. It's beautiful guitar. Thanks, Anthony. It sounds awesome, says Ian. It certainly does.
It certainly
this is
does.
A special
I can
machine.
assure you in the room, it is monstrous.
Alan almost had a tear over this one.
Yeah.
He's been coming in late. He's kind of in between jobs, as we've mentioned.
Yep.
And David Ray, good morning. Greetings from Adelaide quarantine. Hello, David Ray. Let's have a look at Dirty Creature. It has a bit of a riff, which
it's
I
a beautiful
can't remember,
song, and I think we've talked about in the past about
switch my sound back a bit, folks.
About men and mental health and guitars, and so this song is one of Tim's songs, and it's about a dark time during a divorce and the black dog of depression, and he put it in a remarkably brilliant song that we didn't at the time. Nobody joined the dots on it. We go, "Oh, you're a dirty creature." It's all these other things, and then when you understand the context of it. It's a beautiful song.
That's kind of cool.
It's also rockin'.
I am so glad you're here because I'm not a lyrics person. They kind of just wash through, but I'm a melody and groove. I like the sound of things.
Yeah,
so even if he was saying, burp, 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 burp,
No, they have a listen.
I like that. It's
Ignore
so
him.
cool.
Go to the internet, read the lyrics. It's pure poetry.
You should ignore me. You should.
Yeah.
Because yes.
Well, we'd have great lyrics, we'd have no music, so that would be,
hello.
That's the magic.
Exactly right. Okay, well, let's have a look. There's a bit of a riff, but it's fairly simple. It grooves on a B. That's it.
Like a minor or a major? Or
Major. Yeah, he's gone all major with this one to an E. That's basically it.
This P90 is quite powerful.
Do you want me to turn it down? Oh, that's right, we can adjust it. Don't worry about the riff, I'll do that. If you just sit on... Then E. That's pretty much it. And the only other change is a C. Dirty creature, down to B. A. B. C.
Intuitive.
That's it. I like that change.
It's a haunting little scale. What scale is it actually in? Is it?
Oh, that's a good question because C to B major doesn't actually fit in a key properly. So there's several ways you could explain it. Is he borrowing from the parallel minor?
I think he composed it on the keys. It's not a guitar song.
No, well, I think he's just using his ear, I'm guessing, to hear the sound that fits his melody. And sometimes, you can there's enough theory out there to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you like the sound of this, then there'll be people that love that.
All right, so the band that didn't make Diggers Rest, but Michael Gudinski made famous on their 40th anniversary. Let's do Dirty Creatures.
Dirty Creature, bear with me, folks. Here we go. Dirty Creature. Hey, there we are. Oh, I like it. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, it's so funky. I'd forgotten.
Very funky. So that's the B.
Dirty creature come my way. Put him over big like lick. Shuffles up the line window. Make it choke out of the way. Slowly gonna break my brain. Put me in a vice like no. He said, I wouldn't say. You're dead. Dirty creature of heaven. Little horror here to stay. Anyone in his right mind would tell you to go away. Terror of terrors.
The beat.
One of the greats, Colonel.
Oh, man.
That's in my top 10 of all time.
How great is that tune? I love
That's fun to play.
That is fun to
It's,
play.
it's all about the accents because they've got Eddie Rayner going nuts on keys.
Oh, he's a great keyboard player. Amazing sound engineer.
Absolutely. One of the greats. One of the greats.
Incredible.
So we're still back to Diggers Rest.
Yes.
Postcode 3427.
Yeah.
Molly Meldrum. Really what made Molly was his roaming recording at 1972 with all the kids getting off at the train station. Literally could have been like yesterday.
Yes.
It's big day out. They're all there with their stuff. So the thing with this is it's at a period of time in Australian music where we're coming, like America, out of the hippie era.
Yes.
It's all, love, peace and music. And there's a constraint on the festival. They got no money to put it on, so no overseas acts.
Nothing's changed in music.
So everyone's just basically doing it for the love of it and a minimum wage as musicians. Nobody's getting paid big dollars in 72.
Yes.
And they put it all on the line over this could or could not work.
Yes.
And it's the guys from Channel 9.
Ooh.
So it's a group of mates who work at Channel 9, a sound engineer, a lighting engineer, who's Peter Evans, who wrote the book. And they just go, if we sell 10,000 tickets, we'll break even. And, they sell like 25,000.
Wow.
And it just kind of like the life of everything. I reflect this. Everything has this kind of, it's going to die, like we're none of us getting out of this alive. 72, stunning success. 73, even bigger. 74, still surprisingly going well. 75, financial disaster.
Oh, dear.
And that was the end of Sunbury.
Yeah, we have a regular customer who played Sunbury. Do you know who that is?
No chance.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I'm trying to think who's an elder of the tribe because
Well, he looks a lot younger because of all the Botox and the wig.
Right.
But it's John Dallimore. Did you know that?
72, he's born in the 50s then.
Yeah.
Rock, He's a pure rock and roller.
He's a pure rock. I think he played when he was 14 or something.
Quite feasible.
That's what he said to me. He was probably 34, but...
Yeah, no, there was a bunch of...
And
that was the nature of it, is that it was a collaborative, low-key, experimental festival. A farmer gave them the land in the first year.
Really?
Yep, said you have it.
Imagine that.
Not to the pleasure of his neighbours, by the way. Paul Hogan was the compere in 73.
Really? Oh, wow. There we go. Amazing.
And the main stars were, of course, the New Zealand bands.
Which New Zealand bands that became Australian bands played at that festival?
So Max Merritt and the Meteors.
Is he from New Zealand?
I'm afraid he is.
Oh, that is very disturbing to me. I didn't realise that at all.
Flew back in from a massive tour of the UK and came back in for the festival.
Are you ready for some more trivia? Which regular customer who also played Sunbury was Max Merritt's guitar player?
No.
The clues are...
This store is like sort
Botox and a rock wig. It's
Wow.
John Dallimore again.
John Dallimore again.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's a lovely, lovely link to history. And of course, I forgot that, of course, you had a Sunbury guitar that you let go to a collector.
I did. I had this is terrible actually,
you're the dumbest
vintage
guitar dealer in the world letting that go.
Folks are dumb where I come from.
Yeah.
No, I had a deceased estate. The daughter was alive, but the elder gentleman,
the collector had
bitten
passed.
the big one, gone to the rock scene in the sky, and they brought in a bunch of vintage stuff, and I said, okay, great, I'll sell it for you. And there was a casino, and the story was that the grandpa had bought the casino from Graham Goebbels from LRB, formerly of, I can't remember the name of his previous band. Was it the Mechanics or something? Or
not sure.
It'll come up.
LRB was called Mississippi.
Mississippi. There it is.
I got a great Mississippi trivia for you, by the way. And you won't be able to see this, folks, but there he is.
There he is.
There he is. You search him on the internet. There he is with the casino that the Colonel let go.
If you look at the front page of guitarcolonel.com, it's in the picture on the wall. At least it's there.
You are insane.
You knew it was it. But anyway, of course, I'm like, I'm talking to this person. I'm like, potato. I don't know. I can't understand what you're saying.
Casino.
I'm not into lyrics. I'm not into words. So I'm just into rock. So I grab the guitar. And anyway, I sell it to a student of mine, cheap, when I needed the money. I was I had drug problems stuff, and I was, pawning myself out in the back
Yeah,
streets.
it's only so many you can do.
Anyway, I sold it on the story. Apparently, this was Graham Goebel's la-di-da-di-da, and he's like, oh yeah. Then the next minute, he's young and resourceful. He's in the IT world, such as yourself. He sends me that photo. He's contacted Graham, and Graham's like, yeah, I think that's my guitar, and here's a photo of me playing it. Anyway, anywho.
You're an idiot, so
Yeah, that's all right. We do this.
The Australian-only theme really carried it. And this is what, if you love AC/DC, if you love pub rock, if you love the Angels, you love it because this was the explosive moment. The hippies were banished, the bikies were banished, and it was beer-fueled rock and roll, which we live on today. And, bands like the Skyhooks, disaster in 74, booed from the stage in 74. The Stars of 75...
Yes.
Because it's the new vocalist, hard rocking. Who's their new manager?
Gudinski.
Gudinski.
There
Gudinski's performed a miracle on them. They stole the festival in 75.
Right.
Absolutely.
Headliners?
On the last day, yeah. And look, how important was this festival? Daddy Cool reformed for Sunbury.
Wow.
Just for Sunbury.
Oh, damn.
Chain, the other great New Zealand band, the La-Di-Dahs.
Really?
Yep.
They're from New Zealand too.
Kevin Borich.
You mean Aussie Kevin Borich. Hang on.
But yeah,
it's like Aussie Russell Crowe.
And then, like everything has a lifespan. I think you've got to accept that things have a lifespan because the moment, 74, they've got enough money and there's a few demands from Gudinski actually to get international acts in because he's arranging tours and stuff. So we see Queen and we know what a disaster that is. We see Deep Purple in 75. And that Deep Purple plus the Bureau of Meteorology ruined Sunbury.
Oh, a little wet, rainy.
It was Mudbury.
Oh,
Deep Purple wanted 60 grand.
Wow.
To perform.
That's a huge amount back then.
And
that's a huge amount now.
They brought along 24 kilowatts of public address system. It's like so to give you an idea, the first 72 Sunbury has like about, I think, 5 kilowatts of sound. Oh. And then, Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs have got their own rig, so they double it. And so everyone's blown off the stage by Thorpe. Wow. So imagine, like, 4 times that. And anyway, so the Deep Purple story and the fight with AC/DC meant we never got to see AC/DC at Sunbury.
Oh, what happened there? I do remember something.
Well, first, their rider was incredible, and it said we can, dictate how long before the next people are on stage, and who's on stage before us, and who's on stage after us, and all these kind of things.
Oh, right, wow.
And Akadaka, is 16 years old.
Yes.
They're kids.
Yes.
And they want to get on, straight after. And the Deep Purple's roadies go, no, you're not touching this gear. Oh. And one of them goes in and plugs into Purple's gear.
Oops.
And it's on like Donkey Kong.
Wow.
And Akadaka walk away going, this is bullshit. Oh. This is not how it's done in Australia.
Oh, God. I think Michael Ray might have been. Michael Ray, we've got some... Let's turn to the compendium of facts here.
Yes, indeed. So let's do some Rene Gaia because Rene Gaia and Sanctuary played in 75.
Rene Gaia?
Yeah. Oh, before heading off to the USA. And that was the point. She was introduced to Gudinski, got rescued from her RCA deal. She was not enjoying RCA. You look at her work at that time, it's got Mushroom on the label. Oh. Even though she was signed to RCA.
Ooh.
So Sanctuary,
I love Renee. I love you, Renee.
Absolutely. Sanctuary, 2X Chain members and Rockin' Band. She's had several bands over the years, as we talked about.
She has. She's had
now, before we do some Renegade, I've got a quiz question for the audience.
Okay, shoot.
So every year they had a wake-up song on a 45 record run through the 6,000 watts of PA in the next morning to get everyone up. They had a go-to-bed song, like It's All Over, No More Rock and Roll, which was Tubular Bells.
Oh,
that'd put you to sleep.
Yeah,
and the wake-up song in 1974 was brought back to Australia on a 45 by the members of Daddy Cool, who had been on tour with a little band in 73, and this was one of their first big hits. And that song. So that's your quiz question. What was the wake-up song? All this, get out of bed, get out of your tents, come down, the music's on. What 45 did they play? and there's a couple of hints in
okay.
there. A little old
No
band.
prizes today, but except for the fame of being on the show.
I'm going to swap guitars, Colonel, because
Yes, go for it, sir. I'm going to answer a few folks.
I thoroughly recommend Heritage. Wow, it's actually all the things I love. Maybe I should sell my 335 and get this.
It's beautiful.
But I'm going old school now.
I'll go. I don't really want to switch, but I will. This is the and this is going. It's here today, but I think it's getting picked up on Monday. 59 Les Paul. It's always a joy. It's a reissue.
I want a Les Paul, and I've got
guitar.
one. And my God! Mine's got proper sunburst on it this time, Colonel. It's not. I'm not doing imaginary sunburst.
I don't want to bump any leads. That's a real. So that's a 2019.
Yeah, we're playing 2019s because we love them. Gibson, good job.
Gibson, good job. Do you need to check that?
No, it's
I
all
believe
good. It's tuned already.
I
had my roadie do it earlier on.
Good on you, Panda.
Yeah.
That's a 2019 Gibson. That is where they really turn the corner for me. They're
Nice
back.
tiger stripe
and,
on it.
Yes, it's for
good
just
weight.
one off. And they're reasonable. They're not 4.9 kilos and all that sort of stuff. Now,
So I'll confess I don't really know Renee Gayer's Irv other than she had that famous hit, and
yes,
she's got one of the greatest all-time Australian voices.
Oh man, it's a fantastic singer. I
what
kind of
a
thought she
gift.
was from overseas when I heard her when I was younger. I thought, she must be American.
That's
but
sad. The story told, and she tells it, is of how deeply she regrets busting the myth that she was a black American vocalist,
is that right?
jazz vocalist,
Right.
by insisting that her face go on the front of the album. So she went to America, was boomingly successful. We go, who is that voice, that jazz rock, amazing voice? Bought her albums by the dozen, and then the next album she insists on having her face on the cover because she's so pissed off that people don't know who she really is.
She should have just continued with the myth. It's very easy to do in America, apparently.
Just fake it,
Yeah.
and that
you
was
can
it.
be whoever you want, like Alec Baldwin's wife.
So
who
her American career did a Sunbury,
became
unfortunately.
Spanish.
That was all over.
It's a bummer. Well, we're going to do...
she's the queen of coming back with a new band and amazing songs.
Oh, man. We're going to do her big hit today. So, Nigel, I turn to the comments. David Ray, yes, he's in quarantine. Todd Steele says...
Yep.
That Les Paul sounds the business.
It is.
And it is, sir. David Ray
Yep.
says, Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs were the highlight of Sunbury for me. Hello.
Oh
David
my
Ray.
goodness.
Oh, man.
I don't think you could forget them. I'd love to hear that tell. I hope he's coming in some stage, maybe
man.
next week.
He's probably pacing in his one by one.
Yeah. Did anyone answer the quiz
Cubicle.
question though, Colonel?
Let's have a look. Michael Ray says, Deep Purple, The Curse of 75 Sunbury.
Yeah.
The only band that was paid. The only band that was paid.
Yes, yeah.
How about that?
And it cost them dearly because they weren't allowed back into Australia. So when they wanted to come back in, they paid the musicians' union
Yes.
all the money that the bands were unpaid
Oh, my God.
from. And Michael will know this. Like, it was a really important moment in the legal history around employment in Australia. Is that the bands sued.
Ooh.
The receivers of Odessa, who were the companies that said, like, we're unpaid, we want to get paid. And what the court judged was that they were self-employed.
Ooh.
So in the same way, we've got this controversy today in the 21st century about Uber drivers. Are they a contractor or an independent business, or are they an employee? The court judged they were independent contractors, they were not due any money. But Deep Purple came to the party later on
Yes.
to get back in and be able to have their gear carried by union members. They had to write a cheque for 60 grand.
You know
Which
who we
paid all
need to
the
get
other
on?
bands.
We need to get Judge Will on. He'll know about all that.
We should talk about, and so that, I
He's
mean,
coming back for lessons at some point.
we should, because
A one-off.
Sunbury was pivotal in contract creation for live musical performance. So one of the youngsters in that Channel 9 bunch of mates, and they're all in their 20s and stuff, was studying law. So he brought his textbooks along and goes, you know what, we better do a contract for the bands.
That's a good idea.
And he can't go to the internet and just download a template.
So he writes one out.
He writes one out. I've
Wow.
got this example from this textbook and this one from America, and he creates the musical contract, which there are parts of still in use today.
Oh my God.
Nearly 50 years later.
Now, Lindsay Spooner, hello Lindsay Spooner, says Split Ends, open for Roxy Music, and Phil Manzera produced the second album, Second Thoughts.
And that's
Phil Manzera, Roxy.
And that's very much the vibe, I think. That's why they would have gone very poorly at Sunbury.
Yeah,
because
right.
they didn't have the beat. They didn't have the drummer. They didn't... You know, okay, well, nobody got it. The wake-up song was Lagrange.
Is that right? Wow. There you go. And so Daddy Cool toured with them.
Give us a bit of Lagrange on that.
Lagrange,
on
yes.
that LSL, man.
On the...
So you're in your tent. It's 10 o'clock in the morning with some beautiful man or beautiful woman. I don't really mind. Let 1,000 flowers bloom, as your mate Bob said.
Yes.
And just as long as one person's being killed by a crocodile every week in the Northern Territory.
I heard him on the radio the other morning talking about all the shenanigans going on, of course it was the ABC, and the ABC announcer said, no. You know, what would you do in the Brittany Higgins, you know, and he said, well, let me tell you, romance. Dun, da, da, da. Thanks, Bob. Stay north, sir.
Yeah,
Stay north.
So we're back in the 70s, he's back in the 50s. But
A little bit of romance.
So what do you got from Renee?
We're going to do Say I Love You. And it's, you know what? It's a 2-chord wonder song. It's just got a killer groove. It's a D.
It's in my wheelhouse. Where are we going to play it? We're going to play opens or?
You know, you can play wherever you want. I'm probably going to play a bar chord for this because that allows me to put the pressure on and off a little bit easier than open chords. Yeah, a little bit because it's got a groove, so you don't want to be, you know, strumming open chords over it. I think that'd be good, and it just goes to an A7.
Okay, so that I remember that's down here. Open.
Yes. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
That's A7's a pink martini chord. Since we talked about pink martini earlier.
So it starts on a D. Speak to me just one more time. Excuse my appalling singing. A7.
Yeah.
Say that you love me one more time.
Oh man, I want to try all the pickups on this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. Whoa, the power.
I'm gonna just turn that down.
And I think we'll just get it's in standard time. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's that. Might be. Speak to me just one more time.
Okay. It's got a very funky beat this time.
It's got funky.
Let's get going, because we're, 9:58. Sorry, we're a bit late this morning.
Oh my goodness. We can go over time a bit today. I don't have another... But there's no one coming in anymore now that I've closed the door permanently. Renee...
I look forward to next year. We're going to do the 50th anniversary of Led Zeppelin being here. We're going to do the 50th anniversary of Sunbury. I do hope the Music Vault at the Arts Centre has a 50th anniversary show. I'm sure they will. And maybe Michael will loan them the Goebel guitar for that.
That would be cool.
Because Mr. Gudinski is the patron of that. Oh, it's jazzy.
There's a change. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a grooving tune.
I was almost getting a groove by the end of it, but that's really good practice to have to play along to those sort of things. And the left hand easy, 2 chords. The right hand, getting that is really that takes some talent.
You know, I saw an interesting post from young Neil Boland the other day.
Okay,
and
he's got a good right hand.
Saying, excuse me.
That's him ringing now. It's ringing now, going, don't you tell that story about me.
I'm watching you, Colonel. He said, and he was talking about playing in a band that he just half of the show he just had to do like a 2-chord thing.
A 2-chord jam.
A jam. And he said it was one of the great experiences because phone's on the blink.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it forced him to
Wow.
think, okay, I've only got 2 chords to work with here and I need to hold the rhythm.
There's a song that's just got an F and a G in it. I was listening to recently. I forget what it was.
Sure. We may have to hit the road, Sir Nigel.
Yeah.
I think there's people at the door, maybe.
Do you know the F and the G song might be a clue as to what our next show is, as is your guitar, because you have chosen a guitar from my next favourite rock postcode.
Are we going to Los Angeles?
We are
the
going
city
to
of
the
angels?
Home of LSL guitars.
I know, I'm playing this. This is actually... I keep putting it up for sale and I'm like, I can't do it. I need to keep it. So
what you have in your hands is
staying here.
The LSL Original Gangster.
The
LSL story I want to tell the story of Los Angeles. What's in the water in Los Angeles? It's very different to what was in the water in Sunbury in 1972.
Yikes.
Naked people, naked rock and rollers.
Got to be naked to rock. Got to be naked to rock, like the old band Lubricated Goat, which is Michael Ray's favourite band. You probably don't remember them.
No.
I'll show you a clip later, maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Thank you, Sir Nigel.
Goodbye to Diggers Rest. We're saying what a sad thing it is Michael Gudinski won't get to celebrate the 50th anniversary at the Melbourne Arts Centre's Music Vault of this event. Next year. We'll celebrate it though.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We'll do it. Thank you for amazing facts.
Rock stories.
Sir Nigel. It's rock stories. Incredible.
Right here in Melbourne. And you know what I'm excited about? I have discovered that I've got one final mushroom connection.
Okay.
And I am going to exploit this mushroom connection. Is my friend Georgia Beattie. Georgia, if you're watching, I've got a favour to ask. She runs the mushroom farm. That is... right next to Diggers Rest.
My goodness.
And the site of the Sunbury Rock Festival, 1972. So I'm hoping we can go there, dodge the snakes, sneak down the creek, and I can get a look at the archaeology of the greatest rock and roll concert in Australia's history.
Might I say as well, there's people trying to get in.
In.
Your guitar playing is coming along, Sir Nigel. You must be practicing.
I'm rather looking forward to our episode next week. A couple of my favourite bands, and I may have a tasty lick or two to show you, Colonel.
A tasty lick. I love tasty licks. Bye, folks. We're out of here.
Later.
We'll be up on YouTube a little bit. But thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Good luck, David.
This episode of Shooting the Strings is proudly brought to you by the Guitar Colonel. For the best vintage and used guitars in Australia, visit www.guitarcolonel.com.